After being unable to break through the new shield put up by Yggdrasil, Nicole suggested that they combine the power of all of the royal knights and all of the great demon lords of the Mao, to which they looked at him like he was crazy, and Examon asked if he'd lost, but Daemon said that if they could perform such a feat, it'd probably give them more than enough power to take on Yggdrasil. Craniamon asked who'd be the main body for this power, and Alphamon said that it could destroy whoever chose to do it. Yggdrasil had laughed at the group, saying that they could try whatever they liked, it wouldn't matter in the end. Dark Nidramon told them to pour everything into him, and he would use it to take out the so-called god of the digital world. The rest of the group looked at him like he was insane. Nicole told them not to look at him like that, he's serious. Though Dragumon asked if he was sure about that, they did just say that it could kill him. Dark Nidramon said that he knows, but he'd be taking Yggdrasil with him at least. Cat questioned if that was really worth the risk, but our Digidestin leader told them that it was if it means taking down the one to start this war and finally bring peace to everyone. Snowy Anjouamon nodded, as did Dragumon. They then, along with their partners, moved to give them some room. Lucamon questioned if he was absolutely sure about this, and Alphamon said that this is their chance to back out. Yggdrasil interrupted, saying that they should listen to them and know their limit. That was the wrong thing to say at that point, because any doubt Nicole may have had just went out the window. Dark Nidramon laughed at Yggdrasil, telling them that humans don't have any limits except those they put on themselves. They don't have wings, yet discovered a way to fly. They don't have gills, and yet can travel vast oceans. Humans can live in the hottest places on the planet, and areas so cold they are frozen year-round. The only limit to a human's potential is their own imagination, before calling out for the others to do it, and grant him their power as he began to ignite a new blaze of Digivolution, while also being wrapped in a strange new glow as well. Kulamon also began to have this strange glow about them as the gemstone embedded in their forehead changed colors from red to a deep and beautiful midnight blue, with the energies then wrapping around the royal knight and the demon lord one by one until they were all wrapped in this beautiful energy that looked as though it was sparkling like stars in midnight blue dust around them. They all began to pour their power into Dark Nidramon, who grew larger, taking in their power, along with his form changing to that of 6 bladed wings with a symbol on his shoulder that looked like that of the digital hazard symbol. Upon the chest plate was the crest of darkness, and he now had a large shield to go with the sword, as all of the royal knights and all of the demon lords had fused together with him, leaving the group now at Cat, Mastamon, Lucas, Andromon, Marine Anjamon, Kulamon, and Biel Starmon alongside Dark Nidramon in this new form. Yggdrasil questioned why they would limit their power by doing that, as there were more of them before, but Dark Nidramon told them that together they are more powerful than apart, and swung his blade, putting a large crack in the crystal shield with a single swing of their blade. They told Yggdrasil it's time they get serious, while the crack repaired itself. They then asked if the others were ready for this. The other two Digidestin nodded, and Dragumon said that they'll handle the small crystals. He should focus on the main body. Snowy Anjouamon agreed and began unleashing her frost arrows at the crystals, while Lucas unleashed his swords and created blazing slashes at the crystals around them. While they were doing that, Mastamon was firing off arrows of her own, and Andromon was slashing at them with his spiral saber attack. Kulamon and Marine Anjumon were not left out of this, as they were putting up barriers to stop the crystals when they were fired, and working together with the 6 of them were able to destroy all the smaller crystals, and Dark Nidramon had his sword glowing as he'd flown up high into the air before calling out, "Hell's Ascension!" before flying down and slamming the tip of the blade into the ground hard. He'd pierced the ground and sent strange energies from them over to where the avatar of Yggdrasil was still encased in the large crystal, and all of it shot up out of the ground like a volcano erupting, spewing out the energies like a geyser and shattering the crystal. This caught the so-called god of the digital world off guard, as they hadn't expected them to break their their shield. But before they could react, Dark Nidramon threw his sword into the air. Using his index finger pointed straight up, he created a gold and black ring made of energy that was split in two by the sword as it came down. Nicole threw the ring that looked like a broken halo above himself at Yggdrasil, calling out, "Heaven's damnation!" before they could react, and the two pieces clamped down and began squeezing the sides of the 7d6 avatar, getting tighter and tighter as it caused the body of the avatar to crack, cutting it deeper into it with every second before finally slashing it completely in two like a giant pair of scissors. A humanoid-ish crystal was shot out of the 7d6 avatar, and Nicole called out that it was time to finish it. Snowy Anjuamon called out, "Frost Arrow!" while firing arrows at the crystal body of Yggdrasil, and her partner Mastamon did the same, calling out, "Holy Desire!" as she did so. Andromon opened up his chest and called, "Gatling Missile!" firing out missiles from the opening. Dragumon called out, "Pyrus Saber!" while his twin golden swords were each engulfed in flames. One had blue fire and the other was a green-colored flame. He swung the two swords, unleashing slashes from the two of them in the form of an X. And finally, Dark Nidramon gathered up all the power he had left, creating a rather beautiful energy that appeared like a peaceful starry night, and placed his hands together in front of him, unleashing it all in a single blast while calling out, "Final Redemption!" as he did so. All of the attacks made impact on the crystal body and caused it to crack before shattering and unleashing a blinding light from its destruction, with Kulamon calling out, "Crystal Barrier!" as the gem on their head began glowing, and they caused a dome that appeared to be made up of multiple gems to wrap around them, and Marine Anjumon added in Ocean Love as he'd created a big heart-shaped bubble barrier around the crystal dome to add extra protection while they were all engulfed in the light.